Hi, 7th grade, and welcome to lesson 1-6. Today we are going to talk about multiplying integers. So by the end of the lesson, I want you to be able to say, I can multiply integers. Explore it. A popular beach erodes 4 inches per year on average. Part A wants to know how many years will it take for the coastline to erode 1 foot. And part B says the number line below shows the expected change in the coastline as years pass. How could you use the number line to show the erosion after 10 years? So our important information is 4 inches per year. And for part A, we're trying to figure out how long it's going to take us to erode 1 foot. How many inches are in 1 foot? 12. Good. So I want you to work on part A and B by yourself. So find out how many years it's going to take to erode 1 foot and draw on the number line showing erosion after 10 years. Okay, so if it erodes 4 inches every year, 4 plus 4 plus 4, or 4 times 3 equals 12, meaning it will take 3 years. And we start at 0. For the first year, you go back 4. The second year, you go back 4. So I want to go back 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're counting backwards by 4s. So that's -8, -12. My pen is so thick. Yeah. -12, -20, -24, -28, -32, -36, -40. It should be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. And also, if you think about it, eroding means going backwards, so that's -4. And we're doing it for 10 years. -4 times 10, -40. But we will talk about that more in the lesson. Okay, down at the bottom, focus on math practices. What expression could you use to represent the change in coastline in 5 years? Well, we could do -4 plus -4 plus -4 plus -4 plus -4, or -4 times 5, which gives us -20. On the next page, example number 1, multiplying a negative integer by a positive integer. While playing a board game, Unlucky Lawrence had to move back 2 spaces. So I'm highlighting back, and I know it's going to be 2 spaces for 4 turns in a row. So that's going to tell me he's doing it 4 times. What integer represents his change in position? Well, he starts at 0. He goes back 2. That's the first time. Second time, third time, fourth time. So he lands at -8. So the total change in position on the board is -8. He had to move back 8 spaces. So we can use multiplication. And we know that he is moving back 4. Back 2. And we are multiplying it by 4 because that's how many times he had to do it. A negative times a positive is equal to a negative. So that's going to be -8. So this is big to note. Okay. Let's try it. A race car game takes 6 points from a player. So if we're taking away 6 points, is it going to be positive or negative? Negative. What integer represents the change in total points if the player hits 10 cones? So they already have 10 times something. What do we have to multiply the 10 by? -6. Going back to our generalization, what's a positive times a negative give us? A negative. 10 times 6 is 60. So the total change in points is -60. Could the product of a positive integer and a negative integer be positive? Explain. What does product mean? Multiplication. So could a positive times a negative ever give us a positive answer? No. A positive times a negative is always negative. To the next example, example number 2, multiplying a positive integer by a negative integer. So we've got a balloon that's going down 500 feet in 1 minute. So down 500 is a -500. What is the balloon's elevation change in 3 minutes? So we got -500 times 3. Or remember the property that says I could change the order? The property that tells me that both of these are the same? What is that property called? Commutative. Remember CO, change order. Okay, so it means we're going back 500 3 times. Again, negative times a positive is a negative. So it's -1,500 feet. Example number 3, multiplying a negative by a negative. Well, if we're multiplying -3 times -10, I'm not going to worry about these. But we know that, here's our generalization, a negative times a negative is always going to be equal to a positive. Okay, so you can write this down. A positive times a positive gives us a positive. A positive times a negative gives us what? Negative. A negative times a positive gives us negative. And then a negative times a negative gives us does not give us a negative answer. Silly Miss Trustinger. Gives us a positive. So I think about it like this. Oh, I didn't mean to erase that. Sorry, this was positive times positive equals positive. Okay, so I think of it this way. If the two things we're multiplying are the same, so a positive number and a positive number, you're going to get a positive answer. Same thing here. Two things are the same. A negative and a negative give us a positive answer. But if they don't match, meaning there's a positive and a negative, or a negative and a positive, our answer is going to be negative. So let's try it. I want you to pause the video, try these 4 on your own. We will come around and check. If you get it right, please turn to the next page and do the do you know how and wait patiently for us to go over it and get you some kickboard points. If you're watching at home, here I will go over it. A negative times a negative, so negative times a negative, gives us a positive answer. So I know this answer is going to be positive. Then I do 7 times 2, which is 14. Next, a negative times a positive gives us a negative answer. So I know my answer is going to be negative. And 13 times 7, don't have a calculator on me, so I'm doing it longhand. You should get -91. Here again, a negative times a positive gives us a negative answer. 6 times 8 is -48. And last but not least, a negative times a negative again, gives us a positive answer. 1 times 1 is just 1. Next page. The key concepts. I'm just going to go ahead and erase this. When multiplying two integers, the sign of the product depends on the sign of the factors. So here, if the signs of the factors are the same, the answer, the product, is positive. So, same signs, positive answer. Here, if the signs of the factors are different, the product is negative. So, different signs, answer. We get a negative answer. Okay? Before you go on to your exit quiz, I want you to do the do you know how, which is right on the right-hand side of the paper. If you can't find it, raise your hand. After you have finished the do you know hows, please raise your hand so we can check it and give you your exit quiz. Have a super great day, 7th grade. Oh, wait. By the end of this lesson, can you say, I can multiply integers? All right. Seriously, have a great day.